Folks, reality today is if you can't say it in 6 seconds, don't bother saying it at all. At least, that's what the mindset we've been conditioned into by social media. Swipe, tap, scroll, repeat. Swipe, tap, and scroll, and repeat. We live in a world where your content has less time to impress someone than a sneeze. But here's what I've been asking myself lately. If we only feed people content that fits inside a dopamine hit, what happens to ideas that require depth? I'm Batash Mujedi, and today we're diving into one of the biggest debates of 2025. Is long-form content actually dead? Do we still need long-form content? Because everything around us says it is. YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, Reels. Even tweets are getting replaced by memes now. And marketers are adapting fast. We're trained to chase the scroll. Hook the viewer, keep it snappy. But reality is, some things simply can't be said in 6 seconds. And some stories aren't meant to be rushed. Think of all the great movies and entertainment that came before social media. Movies from great directors, some going about 3 hours. Could you capture the art, the essence of the movies in a short format? Could you still shed tears when Adrian Brody struggles to open a can of pickles in The Pianist, the same way you did if you watched the entire movie? People used to sit down and watch those movies entirely in one hit. David Lynch once said, and I paraphrase, if you watch the film on your telephone or computer, you will never in a trillion years experience the movie. You'll be cheated. You'll get a weak experience of another world. In the past, you were bound to TV programs, cinema, and theaters. Today, convenience has brought us smartphones, smart TVs, streaming channels. We watch what we want, the way we want it, and when we want it. Today is not linear. Some might binge Netflix shows for a full day. Some might see a great movie in a few sittings. And so, what is causing all of this shift? Some of it, I believe, is because we're living in a fast-paced environment and we cannot afford to waste time. Some because the quality of the content is repeatedly decreasing over the years and content market has become overly saturated. Chasing clicks and opens have been the priority rather than what the viewer actually finds helpful. Some of it is because psychologically we have been trained to chase after the next dopamine by social media. And that's why we call it doom scrolling or going down the rabbit hole. So, in today's episode, we're not just talking about content formats, we're talking about what kind of attention your brand is asking for and what kind of attention people still have to give. So let's challenge the narrative and find out if long form is really dead or contextually it still matters. First, we look at the 6-second economy, which means if your content doesn't grab me in 6 seconds, it doesn't deserve the next 6. And let's be honest, we've all done it. Open the video, watched 2 seconds, and scrolled away. We're not bad people. We are not doing it on purpose. We're just trained to do so. And that's the reality we're in now as a content creator. You're not only competing against other brands, you're competing against people's reflexes, their attention. We live in an era where swipe is the default, where the first second of your podcast matters more than the last 20 minutes. Where if a video doesn't start with emotion, text, or an emotional hit, it dies. Average view time for a video on YouTube is about 2 minutes. TikTok Reels, Shorts, they've been changed the game. They've taught us to expect instant relevance and constant stimulation. And marketers, we followed the suit. We chopped down our videos, we turned deep articles into code cards, we stopped telling stories and started chasing scrolls. But here's the problem. The attention span didn't die. It just fragmented. People still binge shows. They'll listen to 3-hour podcasts. They'll still read long form when they care. So the question isn't, do we have short attention span as human beings? It's, what are you doing in the first 6 seconds to earn everyone's long form attention? Because if your hook is flat, your value is buried, or tone's boring, congratulations, you just trained your audience to scroll past you. People binge Netflix, Joe Rogan, they just don't binge boring. So people haven't stopped watching long form content. They've just stopped watching long content that doesn't deserve their time. You'll hear marketers say nobody watches long form videos anymore. Well, that's a lie. Here's the truth. Nobody watches long videos that waste their time, because take Joe Rogan, for example, one of the most listened to podcast hosts in the world. Episodes run over 2 hours, and yet millions tune in. Some even finish it. Same with Lex Fridman, Andrew Huberman, Tim Ferriss. Long form isn't dead. Lazy form is. The kind of content that rambles for 15 minutes before saying something useful, the webinars that feel like infomercials, the blog posts stuffed with SEO fluff instead of insights, the podcasts that forget they're talking to people with options. You want attention for 20 minutes? Then make the first 20 seconds count. Because in 2025, long-form content isn't given, it's earned. You know why movies work? Movies were meant to be vessel to take people away from their daily struggles, the economy, the politics, the war, their bad day at work, and have them immersed in another world. It created experience, memory. Let people imagine another world or learn something from their past. So here's what I ask you. Does your long-form content do the same today? Because in reality, it should build trust, loyalty, memory, experiences. Things you can't get in 15-second clips. So no, long-form isn't dying, but if yours doesn't have structure, tension, pacing, or value, it might need to. So the new rule, don't waste time. If you're going to ask someone to give you 20, 30, even 60 minutes of their day, you better give them a reason every 30 seconds to keep listening. Because here's the new rule. Long form doesn't mean long-winded. Attention isn't guaranteed. It's rented, and the payment is value per second. So how do you make long form work in 2025? Modular is mandatory. Design your long-form content like it's made of Legos. Every section should be able to stand on its own and double as short-form content. A 30-minute podcast equals 10 pieces of repurposable gold if you plan it right. Structured like a Netflix show. Think in acts, drop cliffhangers, add scene changes, use rhythm, fast segments, slow reflections, build tension, release it. Don't be afraid to produce, not just talk. And layer the format. People process better when they have options. Give them voice, visuals, text. More modes you layer in, more likely they'll stick around and remember the content. And also be sure to cut the fluff. Keep the soul. Long doesn't mean padded. Edit ruthlessly. Talk like a human. Remove fillers like, so yeah, and kind of. Every minute should move the idea forward or deepen the connection. In 2025, the winning strategy isn't choosing between short or long. It's knowing how to design long-form content that respects your audience's time and multiplies your ROI in the meantime. Because lazy creators chase watch time. Smart ones engineer the watch time. And so you can see how there is a big need for a mindset shift here. I read a great book and I recommend it to everyone, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Let me tell you why I bring out that book. The mindset shifts suggested in the book are, in my opinion, not only valid but applicable even to being a creator. And I give you 5 of them. Let me show you what I mean by that. The mindset shifts are, number 1, be proactive. Don't blame the game. Learn how to proactively shift your actions toward creating a better content. You're here to influence your audience. That's why you're a creator. Even if you're a corporate marketer or a business owner, create your goals that are aligned with your audience's goals. Begin with the end in mind. What do you want people to get out of your content? On a good day, what does success look like? It can't just be, we got inflated 6 hours of watch time. Always think win-win. Don't cheat the audience. This is a big one. And let me tell you why. How does cheating audience look like? A webinar, event, or a video is created becoming a selling point for a product. And so the content shifts from becoming an educational to buy my product, Here is why you need to buy my product. It completely neglects why the audience are there and what they're looking for. Secondary to that, some put their audience in a win-lose situation simply because of fear. If I share everything with you, then I'm no longer important. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. In this context, we're talking about empathy. Why your audience are there. Understand why. What they're looking for. What are they searching for when they got to your videos? And how does your content change their lives for better? And most importantly, sharpen the saw. Always look for self-improvement. Your content today should be better than your video yesterday and the day before. Do not bound yourself to a templated box. Here's the biggest mistake I see content teams make. They either go all in with the short form, they never build depth, or they invest too early in the long form before earning any audience attention. But reality is, short form is kind of like an invitation. Long form is like being invited on the dinner table. When do you go short? When you're looking for reach, awareness, frequency. When you go long? When you want to establish trust, educate, create deeper engagement. So the move is build a content ladder. Something like 6 seconds, a hook, 60 seconds, value hit, 6 minutes, mini deep dive, 60 minutes, full experience. If you earn the first rung, you earn the right to climb. But if your short form doesn't work, your long form doesn't even get opened. And that's the shift in marketing that is required. Stop seeing short versus long. It's not a choice. It's a progression. Attention is a relationship. Treat it like one. So let's bring it home to close this chapter. The gist is, don't just ask for time. Don't waste your audience's time. Earn your audience's time and attention. Next week, we are going to switch gears a little bit. We're talking about something that I believe every content creator, leader, and entrepreneur needs now more than ever. The importance of digital detox in 2025 and beyond. Because how we consume is affecting how we create. And your best ideas, they might not come from a screen. Until then, if you're wrestling with how to build a content strategy that respects today's attention economy and builds long-term trust, I can help you with that. Head over to medici.com and request a clarity call. It's free. We'll untangle what is not working and map out what will. And hey, as always, if you got a perspective, you think more people need to hear it, come on board and please grab this mic from me and let's chat. Go to batashmujedi.com/contact and apply to be a guest on this show. And as always, episode 33 of Critical Hits. My name is Batash and thanks for sticking around.